Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to share an overview and review of Kingdomino. It's ages 8 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes 15 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of Kingdomino is to earn the most points by strategically placing terrain type dominoes around your castle in your kingdom to make a 5x5 grid. And to set up, each person picks a color of castle and you place it on this starting tile. We have a 3-player game. There are an option to have 4 players. You just take out the color for the meeples and the starting tile for the one you're not playing with and put them off to the side. You only need 1 of each of the meeples that correspond to each castle in a 3 or 4-player game. If this was a 2-player game, then each player would have 2 meeples, and you would place out the starting tiles and according to number, and then you take the meeples and select one to be the starter, and it would be that person would start selection, then 2 of the next person, and then 1 the person from the beginning to start. But with a 3-player game, take these 2 off to the side, just have 3, do the same thing, bring back in our blue castle. Pick who's gonna start. Blue gets to select first, then yellow came out second, then pink. So blue gets to pick, and typically the dominoes with the higher number are the ones that have more valuable land on them. So more castles, and so we're gonna go ahead and have blue select that they want this one. We'll say yellow's going to say they want this one, and you'll see why in a second. And then pink, you do not place these yet. You take out the next 4 dominoes and line them up according to number, flip them over, and what's going to happen on this next turn is yellow is at the top, so they'll get to go first. In a 3-player game, whichever domino isn't selected is just discarded. So yellow gets to go first, and they get to place, select their next spot they want, and also place the one they have. So they're gonna put this over here and place this however they like around their kingdom. Over the course of the game, you have to obey like domino type rules and have to match the terrain that is it is joined up to, but the castle square is your starting spot, and it essentially serves as a wild. So then pink would do the same thing. We'll say they go ahead and take this one and place this one here, and yes, I know this isn't all going to fit, but that's okay. And then this guy is going to go ahead and do this and place his here. And then we place out the next few dominoes, and you just continue that process. That is the game. You continue the process over the course of the game. Whoever's on the top, you discard whatever hasn't been selected. Whoever's on the top gets to pick their next spot and place their other one, and then blue would do the same thing. We'll have them go ahead and do this, and so on and so forth. So some of the rules to take into account as you place them: you are making a 5x5 grid. If later on in the game you have a domino that you would only be able to place and it would be outside of the 5x5 grid that you're required to do, then you have to discard it and you don't get any points for it at the end of the game. Once a domino has been placed, it cannot be moved. You only have to have 1 match when you place a domino. So this was acceptable to place it here because this is a wild. It doesn't matter that these 2 don't match. And you're going to continue until all the dominoes from this box are gone. In a 3 or 4-player game, that's going to make a 5x5 grid. In a 2-player game, you have the choice of continuing until half the dominoes are gone and you've made a 5x5 grid, Or you can do all of the dominoes, and that makes a 7x7 grid, which is very fun and very cool. Once all of the dominoes have been selected and placed, you score your kingdom, which is very simple. It's just any connected terrain you multiply by the number of crowns on it. So this space is already worth, the grass is worth, there's 1, 2, 3 connected spaces, and there's 2 crowns on it, so this is worth 6 points. There are 2 crowns on this space, on like the gold, and there's only 1 space, so that's just worth 2 points. But if you get more gold spots and they connect to this, you get points. If they're unconnected, so let's say this is over here and it's never connected to the other grass, that is separate and it's scored differently. So this would just be worth 1 point. So it's just only connected types of terrain multiplied by the crowns on it. Add them all up, and whoever has the highest score is the winner. So that's how to play Kingdomino. The target demographic for this is, it's a family level game. This is your replacement domino style game for family game night. Rule complexity, it's dominoes but with terrain instead of numbers. People seem to grasp that really quickly and really easily, so it is easy, the rule complexity. The only thing that's a little tricky at first for some people is the tile selection process, and then the placement at first can feel a little weird, but then after you've played once or twice, it feels very natural and intuitive and you're used to it, and it's no big deal. How competitive is this game? Mostly it seems like you're competing against yourself when you play this. You are in charge of selecting your tiles. If you pick the ones that are the highest value, then of course you're going to pick last the next time, so maybe you don't get as good of tiles as you wanted. You don't have the choice. So it's very balanced in how it plays, and there's not anything where it's like, oh my gosh, you keep on getting so lucky with all of these. That really doesn't come up in this game, which I appreciate. And it's a little bit, I'd say 3-player is the least competitive version of this because there's a little more flexibility. A tile gets discarded, but I've never played this and had somebody get really mad at somebody else because they took the tile that they wanted. There's still a tile for you, and if you make your kingdom correctly, then you'll have a place for it, even if somebody took the other one that you would have liked a little bit more, which is very nice. Replayability, I say this is medium. It's kind of the same game every time you play, although the tiles are a little bit different. You know, they get mixed up, and so it is different in that respect every time you play, but the basic gameplay remains the same. That can be a good thing depending on who you're playing with. If you're playing with somebody who their go-to game was just, oh, we play Uno at family game night, and they want something like mellow and kind of on that level, and you're ready to just take it up a little bit more, and you're trying to bring in Kingdomino, then they will be much more comfortable and happy with this kind of game because it is familiar and very nice every time you play. And if you're looking for similar games and want to mix things up a little bit more, there's a whole world of Kingdomino games out there, and they are fabulous. There's Dragomino, Queendomino, Kingdomino Duel, Kingdomino Origins. Dragomino has the same kind of idea as Kingdomino, but with little baby dragon eggs, and it should be in every house with kids. It's that good. It has been a hit every time we've played it with kids. And I've taken it to board game camps and Girl Scout game nights, and everybody has loved it. So it's pretty great. And then the other one that I would very much recommend is Kingdomino Origins. It kind of solves the problem if your critique of Kingdomino is, oh, it's just a little bit too much of the same every time I play. They have tiered options for play that you can hit it whatever your game group is going for. You have options. All 3 tiers work really well. It is fabulous as well, so you should definitely check out Kingdomino and all the other games. We enjoyed them all tremendously. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time from Game Like a Mother.